Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
Greetings.
With each step, my burden lightens.
If we do this right, they won't even know what happened.
I do not fight for myself.
4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Rotation objective.
Hey,
Ready yourselves.
Take everything
Good evening,
from
everybody. Welcome back to UAlbany stream. Tonight we're gonna have a match against UAlbany and Drexel.
your miscalculations will cost you everything you follow.
Back while I deal with this.
I will give you shelter. We will take this here.
Sentry is offline.
Over here. I'll find them. You can't hide.
You are safe with me.
Over here!
Take everything from them.
Let me balance you out.
Now do you see outside of you? Put them in the ground. I will give you shelter.
Be healed.
Over here.
私がついてる。
我来帮你，心如流水。There's an enemy here.
Alright, people, welcome back. And right now we saw their technical difficulty right now. This is a match against, as you know, Drexel and Senior. UAlbany has gotten a lead on the first checkpoint, with closing in on 90%, and what it seems like here is
Reverse the time.
UAlbany, and
Willpower burns within me.
Fucking satellite sector!
There's an enemy here.
1.
And the first round goes to UAlbany. Unfortunately, because of technical difficulties, we did have some problems with getting the stream live, but now that we're here, we get to see the second match.
Everyone feeling
So
warmed up?
while in the first match, Drexel did put up a good fight, unfortunately they could not manage to get the point a single time, even though they had a pretty good team
and I'll keep you
synergy.
safe.
So the problem was, UAlbany had them backed into a choke point, and that was a huge problem for them. So we could be seeing a comeback by Drexel Esports right now, but we'll have to wait and see.
Our victory is at hand.
Enemy here.
Teleporter manifested.
Drowning them out. Try to keep up.
And we have first contact with
Over there.
game
Over
at the
there.
point of Ramajra is front.
There's an enemy
Looks
here.
like they are on the point. The point is unlocked. They've already established their presence there, so it makes the Drexel esports team a little bit harder for them to actually come in. They've got a Winston, and that's a dive tank. It does look like he's trying to find a way to get in, but they are just not letting him onto the zone. There you go, Winston is in, and he's in front of Wu Ying, and Wu Ying is gone. And it looks like Drexel has established a presence inside of the point. It looks like Ramatra is pushing him back. And while Ramatra did manage to get him off the point, it looks like UAlbany only has 2 players left on the point. So it looks like while Drexel assault was relatively successful, it did not completely fulfill their goal.
Follow them. Hostiles approach.
Winston is going in for the flank, it looks like, but he has been pushed back by all of 4 other players. And you can see Ramatra is going outside the zone to see if they can pressure on the enemy. It looks like he's doing relatively well. He's not dead yet. But the thing is, he's not doing a lot of damage either. He's not doing so much. He is pushing them back, which is good. It looks like Winston, he cannot find a way to go ahead and dive into the backline without compromising his position too much. And it looks like UAlbany has been pushing Drexel back towards the system like how they did in round 1. It just looks like Drexel is not finding a way to get past his choke. Enemy here. Apparently Adventure managed to get behind and behind. It looks like Winston is also behind their line. Let's see if they can out. One of them, UAlbany's towards the door, he's dead, and looks like they were still holding their own though. They were still holding their own, even though they did get a kill.
It's showtime!
Like Winston
There's an enemy here!
Not
First blood! Coming! Enemy here!
looks like they're in a solid block here. Looks like neither or using any ground. Looks like Winston just Winston is gone, never mind. And right now it looks
enemy
like
here.
UAlbany's gonna take the second round and finish to get the better out. Looks like they are having a hard time trying to kill him, but it does seem like they
Let the Kitsune got you!
no, Winston is back. He was putting the last in, but he just got killed within an instant, and now UAlbany takes the second round.
Play of the game.
Synergy between UAlbany's team. Even though it looks like Drexel's team is not lacking in any way, shape, or form, it does seem like UAlbany's team has them pushed back to a corner consistently. And while we are waiting for the second match, we should be talking about whether or not Drexel could make a comeback here. It does seem like they really got outplayed in the first match with how one-sided they felt. which is sort of unfortunate for them, but it does feel like they may have learned something from that encounter, and let's see what their performance is in the second match and whether or not they can pull this back. And we are back for the second game. Oh, it looks like we just went back to the lobby a bit. Don't worry, we will get back into the game very shortly. And there you go. Our second map is Atlas, and it has now begun, sort of. And we are back live. It looks like they are going for Reinhardt instead of Ramatra this time. It does feel like they are a little bit worried about the Winston going into their back line, so they are putting up more of a front line fighter here with Reinhardt. But even though Winston was not that detrimental to their performance last time, it does seem like they are wary of him. And looks like we got a beautiful Symmetra teleport immediately. Looks like, yep, they are going for the point immediately. Doesn't seem like they're going into it immediately though. They are looking at first contact here. They are planning to, and there you go, first blood with Reinhardt killing Mei, and it does like Reinhardt are now both battling each other, but it does seem like UAlbany's Reinhardt is getting the upper hand here, and it looks like Reinhardt has been killed by Symmetra, with UAlbany taking most of the kills. They have traded a little bit, but Drexel is now severely weakened, and they would need to regroup before they could plan another assault.
Come out and face me.
It does look like they are holding their lines against UAlbany, but Drexel just came in with Reinhardt's charge, and it does look like they are establishing some presence here, but yep, they are. UAlbany's Reinhardt has just been killed, and it looks like UAlbany has retreated so that they would have to regroup later, and Drexel takes the point. It does look like Drexel has learned from their previous mistakes and are now performing better.
Heads up! Over here! Moving on the objective.
And UAlbany's Reinhardt is back now. Since the tank is the most influential role inside of Overwatch 2, they would need to make sure that their tank is as healthy as possible. It does look like they are killing the Drexel Sports tanks, and it does look like they killed 2 players of Drexel Sports. So they did manage to push Drexel back from their point, and they have now taken the point actually. And Drexel would have to wait for their team to respawn before they could attempt another assault. And they have respawned, but will they be aggressive? That is the question we have to ask right now. It does look like Reinhardt is leading the charge here, and it did stun UAlbany's Reinhardt. And we're looking at a Reinhardt mirror match here, but it looks like Reinhardt is now focusing on one of the Drexel players that dropped into the point, but it does look like Kirito's managed to give Reinhardt the edge above all else, and they managed to wipe out pretty much most of Drexel Sports teams, and they are holding the point a lot better than Drexel was. And now we're on to the second flashpoint. We will see how Drexel performs in this, but it does look like they are gunning for doing the same thing UAlbany is, but it looks like UAlbany is closing in on the point, but it does look like Drexel's Tracer is, it looks like both Reinhardts are now fighting each other, but Drexel's Reinhardt just immediately got killed. Reinhardt is going in there swinging like there's no tomorrow, and it looks like our Reinhardt has managed to get several kills, and now Drexel Esports has to push back once more. It looks like UAlbany's Reinhardt is really dominating the enemy team's Reinhardt with charging into their lines and actually decimating their backline. Once their Reinhardt is gone, it looks like Drexel Esports team cannot hold once their Reinhardt is gone. And it looks like they're putting them inside of a choke point right now. And look at that, there is, even though it looks like Reinhardt is doing fairly well, Symmetra over here is flanking, and she is putting down several drones so that their choke point will make it harder to pass. It looks like Reinhardt's going straight in there alongside Cassidy. Cassidy is getting some shots off, but it doesn't look like he's getting any critical shots off just yet. Symmetra is back here She did teleport and did get some shots in, but it doesn't look like she got any kills just yet. Reinhardt is full health right now. It doesn't look like Drexel is putting too much of a dent into Reinhardt's health bar here. UAlbany's Reinhardt has been staying healthy this entire time, but he is still holding the line. Cassidy just got killed by playing a little bit dangerous, but his risky gameplay did play off earlier by putting pressure onto Drexel, but it sort of did backfire when he got killed. It looks like the next flashpoint is closer to Drexel, and now they are blocking UAlbany's point, but they are finding another way through, and it does look like UAlbany is finding their way through. However, Drexel is still in their way, it seems, to their point, and UAlbany will have to push through Drexel in order to get to that point before they can actually do anything. And it looks like they just killed Drexel's tank, and it looks like that Kirito's ult just gave them the edge to wipe out Albany's team, Drexel's team, but it doesn't seem like they're going down without a fight, because they did manage to get one kill off, but it does seem like they have backed off after that. Symmetra is setting down some drones to make it harder for them to rush, which is this more sensible thing to do, but it looks like Reinhardt's lack of range is really hindering him here, because he has to hide behind cover. And it looks like enemy Drexel's Reinhardt just pushed UAlbany's Reinhardt back. It looks like he got him stunned, but it doesn't look like Drexel's Reinhardt is really low health, so but both Reinhardts are really low health, and right now UAlbany's Reinhardt is very low, but he is getting healed. Earlier, when UAlbany's Reinhardt was 1, they did not manage to kill Reinhardt, but he was protecting himself with the shield. So it looks like UAlbany's Reinhardt is being a lot more cautious with his play and a lot more valuing with his life most of the time. And it does look like Drexel is back to see if they could take the point back, but it looks like they are rushing straight into the point, and they are getting some present. It looks like UAlbany Reinhardt is going down to critical health. UAlbany Reinhardt is very low health. UAlbany Reinhardt has been killed, so now that the Reinhardt has been killed, the rest of the team falls alongside Reinhardt, and the UAlbany has to totally regroup before they can go ahead for the point again. They are at 99% though, so once they take the point, they will win. But the problem is, can they take the point back? Reinhardt is waiting for his team to follow him, and it doesn't look like they did follow him, but it looks like Reinhardt has gone all the way to 1 before his healers could come ahead and heal him again. But it does look like there is a flanker going behind his lines and trying to kill everybody, and it does look like he got Symmetra, but at least everybody else is still alive. Right now they are still trading shots with none gaining ground, much ground at least, but it does look like UAlbany is not doing so well right now. Ventra and Reinhardt just killed 2 of UAlbany's team, and it does look like UAlbany's Reinhardt has just been killed. It looks like UAlbany's Reinhardt is facing the same problem as Drexel's team did earlier with all the choke points. And it does look like whoever holds the point has a much larger advantage.
Next flashpoint.
And they did manage to get the second flashpoint. Now we are the other flashpoint. Now we are on to the 4th flashpoint here, so we will be seeing some more action here. We can see another mirror match between the 2 Reinhardts, but it doesn't look like either one's going to be dying anytime soon. With the entire Drexel team behind his back. Oh, and UAlbany's Reinhardt just got singled out because he did try to go behind enemy lines, but it doesn't look like that ended up too well for him. UAlbany's team isn't doing too badly though, even without their tank. They are holding their ground, and it does look like they are keeping their presence on the point and making sure that Drexel does not manage to go in too much. And it looks like Reinhardt is back for another mirror match. Would you look at that? The 2 Reinhardts are duking it out here. alongside the rest of their team, but it does look like UAlbany's at a disadvantage due to Venture and their Lucio killing 3 members, and it looks like they just got a team wipe. This is some impressive play by Drexel here, especially considering their initial performance in the first match, but it does seem like they have the groove now. They have warmed up, and it does look like they are performing much better. UAlbany's Reinhardt is back, and he is hungry for vengeance. Let's see if he can get any. He is going in there. He's making sure he is getting up close and personal, but he's still playing it safe by putting a shield up every once in a while. But it does look like he's valuing his life more than... it looks like the symmetric teleport just got them back and forth, and it doesn't seem like any one of them is gaining much ground either. It looks like they are both pretty focused on getting rid of each other's tanks, and it does look like UAlbany managed to succeed in that endeavor since they just got rid of Drexel's Reinhardt. And it does look like that Drexel is now retreating because of that. And UAlbany once again has managed to establish their presence on the point, but let's see if they could take it. Now their major problem with UAlbany is with the Venture, because the Venture is going behind that Reinhardt and really decimating their backlines here. As we can see here again with Venture killing Cassidy, but we can also see that Lucio and Tracer killing another 2 members. It does look like Reinhardt now heavily outnumbered and is now currently dead, which gives Drexel another presence to dominate. It does look like UAlbany will have to rethink their strategy with Reinhardt here. Is Reinhardt really the best way to protect your backline when Venture is back there, establishing such decimation? Now they have to regroup with Cassidy and Kirito, it seems like, so they are giving up on that point, and it does look like we are on an... this is evenly split, 2 versus 2. Let's see who gets the 5th flashpoint. This is a very close matchup here. Even though UAlbany got the initial upper hand on the match, it does seem like Drexel has learned how to counter them. And we are back with another confrontation between the 2 teams. It looks like Drexel's Reinhardt tried to establish some presence in their backline, but still got decimated. It looks like UAlbany's Reinhardt is going in, but he didn't have to because of all the other players on UAlbany's team. And they are now getting another head start in the flashpoint, and it does look like Cassidy is back to his dangerous playstyle going in front. And it is interesting to see how Reinhardt is back, and he's going back into the backline, but he is retreating. He did go back in the backline, they did manage to get the Cassidy, and it looks like UAlbany's Reinhardt here is being heavily targeted with his health very low, and UAlbany's Reinhardt has been taken away alongside most of UAlbany's team. It looks like the aggressive play by Drexel's Reinhardt did manage to push them back enough so that UAlbany could not manage to defend against their aggressive playstyle. And it looks like Drexel's Reinhardt is back at it again, swinging like there's no tomorrow and dealing such devastating blows to UAlbany's team. And it does look, while it does look like UAlbany's Reinhardt is still alive, I don't think that he can actually get the point back without the rest of his team, because of without the rest of the team, because he has no backup whatsoever. It looks like Cassidy is on the front here, getting in some shots, but it does look like he's pretty scared of Reinhardt. He is pretty afraid of Reinhardt, which is valid because of how well the Reinhardt has played lately and how much devastation he has wreaked on UAlbany's team lately. It looks like UAlbany's Reinhardt is finally coming back, but it was too late, and it looks like the second match goes towards Drexel.
Play of the game.
it is interesting to see how Venture and Reinhardt are very dominant players inside of Drexel's team, which with Venture going behind the lines and killing everybody, and with Reinhardt establishing a presence up front while periodically going into UAlbany's team and wreaking some havoc. Will UAlbany think of a different way to combat this strategy, or will they stick to their original strategy they have been using? While the first match between UAlbany Esports and Drexel Esports was pretty one-sided in favor of UAlbany Esports, it looks like the second match is in favor of Drexel Esports after they managed to counter UAlbany Esports team synergy, and it does look like they are trying to get a redemption arc, but I do have faith in UAlbany Esports, and I do think that they will figure out a way to find some sort of clink into Drexel Esports armor and potentially exploit it for the win. And we are back to the third match, and it looks like in this match, it looks like the first one who does get the upper hand will have the upper hand for the rest of the match, but I am curious to see which side will manage to get that initial upper hand. Now in this game mode, even though losing the first confrontation does still allow you to make a comeback later. It does make it a lot harder because of the way that this game mode is designed. So the initial confrontation for this specific game mode is very interesting. And it does look like UAlbany's team is changing up their strategy by changing their tank and by changing their entire team composition, it seems like, with Anna, Bridget, and Tracer. But it does seem like Cassidy is still playing as Cassidy, so we will see how this team comp performs under this new game. Now, whether or not Drexel Esports still use the same composition is a completely different thing. It's a completely different question, but we will try and see how well this composition works. It looks like they're trading several shots, but none is gaining much ground, and it looks like UAlbany has the robot, but it does look like the enemy team Diva is trying to push back against them, but she can't really do anything about that. And Drexel's Diva just backed off from our tank. It does look like our tank is taking some heavy hits here, but it doesn't seem like he's going down just yet. UAlbany's Bridget just came in, but it doesn't look like she managed to save Cassidy. It does look like UAlbany's Cassidy's dangerous playstyle is not paying off for him because of how many times he is dying. And it looks like their Diva is now gone, so now that their most influential role is gone, UAlbany has the upper hand and they are pushing Drexel back. Very aggressive play here by UAlbany's tank, and it does look like he managed to successfully push them further back into their lane, but even though he did not manage to kill them. It does look like Reaper is getting very low health. It does look like UAlbany's tank is in a little bit of trouble here, but not too much. Even though he is outnumbered, even though there is a pretty decent chunk of his health missing. And it looks like UAlbany's Tracer is also being a thorn inside of Drexel's side right now by poking in shots by when flanking to the other side. And it does look... Actually, UAlbany's tank is still putting up a very nice performance on the front lines, making sure Drexel does not get too far into UAlbany's side, but it does look like Diva managed to get several inches into UAlbany's line, but it doesn't look like that mattered too much because her mech is now gone. It does look like UAlbany's tank is now playing more aggressively and is now pretty much operating as the most decisive factor of this match because of how much he is currently pushing back against Drexel, whilst also being able to survive really well. It looks like Tracer is still getting in some good DPS alongside Cassidy, and it does look like UAlbany's tank is playing pretty safe, even though they all... And it looks like Diva explosion, even though it did explode in front of UAlbany's face, it did not manage to kill any of them, which is slightly surprising, even though UAlbany's tank is now currently suffering some heavy health loss, even though he now gained them back. And it looks like he's focusing on killing them right now, even though his health is currently in critical condition. It looks like UAlbany's tank has suffered the first ever death in the match. It looks like UAlbany does not have their most influential roles yet, but it doesn't look like their DPS and support Bridget is gonna give up anytime soon, because Bridget is still a fairly tanky support and she can still hold her own pretty well. And it looks like Tracer's survivability is still pretty well because of how much she can move, even though her health bar isn't very large. Cassidy playstyle has been risky this entire time, so they do still have a lot of experience with that. It looks like UAlbany's tank is back again, but it does look like Drexel is now more aggressive with their playstyle, pushing into UAlbany, forcing UAlbany to fall back, and even taking Tracer life, and it does look like Drexel is now gaining the upper hand by pushing UAlbany back by taking away the DPS before they focus on the tank. Now, even though UAlbany had the upper hand here in the initial confrontation, it does look like Drexel is aiming for a comeback, and it does, in fact, feel like they are going to get it unless UAlbany does something to stop them. Now, the frontliners inside of UAlbany is still a little bit behind, so it does look like the Tracer, even though the Tracer does not need the tank's support in order to deal any damage, she still cannot really establish much of a presence, but it does look like UAlbany's tank is now back in the fight, and he is holding the front line alongside Bridget and Ana. It seems like Ana is going up front, and it does look like D.Va went to the back line, but that flank went terribly wrong, and the D.Va is now gone. It looks like UAlbany now has the upper hand once more, and this was what I was talking about when I was talking about this game mode being very difficult for those who did not gain the initial upper hand, because you do have to maintain and establish your domination over the robot for a lengthy amount of time if you do lose that initial confrontation, if you do want to win. And it looks like UAlbany's tank is going up in the front line. It does look like he is putting up a pretty good resistance, and it does look like they have changed from a D.Va to an Orisa, but that does not seem to bode well for them, as Orisa is now gone. And it looks like Tracer is moving in a little bit more aggressive with her gameplay right now and getting in some kills. And UAlbany's tank is up front, and UAlbany has taken the third match.
Play of the game.
Very nice performance of UAlbany Esports they put up out there, but even though it did seem like Drexel was going to get the upper hand, they did manage to pull it back and get the robot back before Drexel had a chance to even push their barrier.
Arriving at watch point.
And we are back for the fourth and possibly final match of the day. Now, to recap the performance of both teams, while UAlbany managed to get the first round, Drexel managed to counter their synergy in the second round by using Venture and Reinhardt. And in the third round, UAlbany actually switched their composition up a bit so that they would be able to perform better, and that did manage to pay off for them. And UAlbany Sports did manage to take the third round. So right now, if UAlbany does take this round, they will be taking the win tonight, but it's still not impossible for Drexel to bring a comeback around. And we are back, and it does look like UAlbany has once again changed their composition a little bit, and let's see how it pays off for them, whether or not it is worth it. While there are some similarities with the previous composition, mainly Bridget still being here, and mainly Bridget and Anna still being here, let's see how it fares against Drexel's new composition. And we are currently waiting for the first confrontation.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Very tense moment here. Could be the match point. And it does look like three of Drexel teams have flanked and are now currently trying to get rid of his tank, get rid of UAlbany's tank. It does look like they did manage to get the leeway, but it does look like UAlbany's tank has moved backward and is now currently comfortably sitting in the back lines. But it does look like they are once again flanking to behind Drexel's backlines, letting Drexel's Diva go to the front. But even though they did bag a kill, it doesn't seem like they are getting much of an advantage due to how UAlbany has already also traded some of their kills as well. So as of now, they are still trading, and none have really managed to get much of an advantage just yet. UAlbany's tank is still wants to be firmly behind enemy lines, even though he's still in ball form. it does look like there is a player behind their lines, and it looks like Drexel is currently trying to flank, but Bridget is not allowing that to happen, and Anna is getting in a... Anna is still firmly perched on her little hunter's nest, and it does look like she is doing some work against them, while the hamster is putting pressure on Drexel's team. And it does look like he is making some progress with them because, again, Drexel's DPS and team members in general actually cannot push behind him while he's there. It doesn't. It looks like he's flanking once more, and it does look like they are putting some effort on him, but it doesn't seem like D.Va cares a lot about that because she just went to UAlbany's backline and is now currently trying to do what she did in the second match. What they did in the second match, which was decimate them in the backline, which was diving into their backline so that they would be able to get some kills off, cutting off the tank support. Now, while UAlbany's hamster is high mobility, getting into enemy backlines does open UAlbany's backlines up to everyone, like how D.Va's is now currently in their backline, and it doesn't look like she's getting much done. Even it looks like most of UAlbany's team is now getting invested with most of Drexel's team, and it does look like Drexel's team is pushing them back, with the only one still there being the hamster. And it does look like because of the hamster's presence, Tracer managed to go back and get a kill on Kirito. And it does look like the hamster is actually performing relatively well by killing Ash over there, and is now focusing on Reaper. Even going as far as aggressively pushing Reaper. And now D.Va is back for vengeance, and she just got knocked off the map. But since D.Va manages to fly back, it doesn't seem like she is going to perish soon, but never mind. It looks like UAlbany is not letting them breathe whatsoever. Even though D.Va does manage to get her mech back, it doesn't look like Drexel's team as a whole is managing to push UAlbany back to their original position. It looks like UAlbany is holding their line pretty well, even though D.Va is constantly trying to get behind them. Reaper has also been trying to do the same thing, but to no avail. And it does look like they just managed to trade several kills, and it does look like they are pretty evenly matched, even though right now they managed to pretty much decimate Drexel's team. And now some Drexel players are back, but it doesn't look like that Juno had much of a plan when she came here and rushed them. And it looks like Drexel managed to get 59 meters with 0 seconds remaining. While the chances of Drexel still taking this back are low, it's not exactly 0. Even though UAlbany has been pretty much dominating them, Drexel does have a track record of managing to pull back against UAlbany once they learn their composition and once they really learn how UAlbany plays. So let's see if this plays out the same way as it did the last several matches.
I discontinued my favorite moisturizer. Got any recommendations?
Looks like there have been some minor adjustments to UAlbany's composition, replacing Bridget with Lucio, and and they are also putting in Life Weaver
Irrepressible.
instead of Ana, which are, they pretty much replaced both of their supports, which is very interesting because it does look like they are worried about Drexel's dive technique. And UAlbany's hamster is going in once again, diving behind their line. Let's see if he isn't really establishing much of a presence, and until he goes here and he is focusing on the action, it does look like he's making some headway over there. Due to how the rest of UAlbany's team is currently structured, it does look like they're putting up one good fight even without their tank. And they're holding up pretty well, while their tank is in the backline, decimating, not decimating, but still being a thorn in Drexel's side. And it looks like even though they're trading a bit, it does seem like UAlbany is making more of a headway than Drexel is with how the payload is currently pushing already. It does look like there is still some Drexel presence, but they do still have to wait for their team to come back if they do want to stand a chance. It does look like Viva is in the backline once again trying to cut off some support to the tank so that they will be able to focus on the tank, but it doesn't look like she's making much of a presence there due to how her mech has now been killed, and now she has been killed, and now Widowmaker has been able to kill Ashe, and it does look like UAlbany has managed to push the payload past further than Drexel has, getting them the win, not just for the match, but for the night as well. Impressive performance by UAlbany. Unfortunately, even though Drexel does learn from their mistakes, they do not learn fast enough, and UAlbany was just too strong for them to conquer, even though their diva did get Game of the Win. It was very interesting to see the interaction between these two teams, but unfortunately, due to some misplays on Drexel's part, it doesn't seem like they could have beaten UAlbany's team, even though they were adaptive to UAlbany's tactics. And UAlbany takes the win for the night, it seems. This has been your commentator, Eric, and I wish you all a nice evening.